this one?
It was pretty hot in there, so we got after it. Guys grinded pretty good, and we got to keep working. They're still in camp.
How would you assess right now where you are and where are you, I guess, in the process?
I think that number one, our guys have worked hard every day. You see them pushing through. Not always perfect, but you do see them grinding to try to do it the right way. I do see improvement in guys from practice to practice and trying to work. And then there's plays that are really good, and you see them matching, doing the way you don't. And then there's things that you obviously got to continue to correct because we're in camp, and we got some new guys from that aspect. So I think that we're working hard. Guys are paying attention to detail, and we just got to keep grinding and find ways to get our best players on the field.
What are some of your kind of ultimate goals as far as how good you guys can be on defense?
Well, the most important thing is winning the game. I mean, that's obviously the most important thing. So whatever we got to do to help our team win the game, we're going to do. Other than that, you always want to be hard to score on, because if you're hard to score on and hold people to low numbers, you're in the game no matter what. You're always looking to stop the run, because if you stop the run and force teams to be one-dimensional, that allows you to affect the quarterback, which in turn creates turnovers. One of the big things we always talk about turnover-wise is always being +1, because at the end of the day, if you're +1, you're going to win about 90% of those games in college football. So our goals are basically those from that standpoint, and then basically play as hard as you can on tape, because when we put you out there, there's 11 guys playing together, and don't be the weak link, because the tape doesn't lie. And we make sure that we emphasize the effort and energy type plays that our guys give us.
For new guys, what's the toughest adjustment for them usually?
Pace of play. Just pace of everything from, the technique to the motions to the tempo, just the pace of play, because, a lot of those guys will know things maybe in the meeting room, but what happens is it's like anything. If you only got 1 to 2 seconds to adjust to something, you may not be as quick as if you're a veteran or an older guy. So we try to put them in those situations, and like, for example, with this practice we just had, there's some things we got to clean up with some young guys. So what we'll do is we have a practice this afternoon, and we have a block of plays that we're basically going to repeat the things that happened in this practice, that they can correct them, and that way we can move forward with something else.
Who are some of the guys that you've seen that could kind of step in and get some of those interceptions that you're losing from Tom?
Well, I think first of all, Josh has done a good job for us in what he's done. Zach Cannon had a couple picks, and he's shown the ability to make some plays. Corner-wise, I think all those corners are battling and competing, and at times they show up. So, I think it's just a group effort. Interceptions are caused by, number one, being able to play your man, eyes on the guy, being able to understand the route, and break on the ball. But it also is the rush and the pressure schemes to make that quarterback, or make a quarterback maybe make a decision before he wants to with getting rid of the ball. When you go back and look at some of the picks from last year, it was great coverage, and even Holloman read it the right way, but there was a guy coming at the guy, and he was unblocked, or he had beaten a guy one-on-one, so the quarterback had to make a decision on what he wanted to do. And a lot of times they want to get rid of the ball before they take that sack.
It seemed like Holloman had a great knack for knowing what was coming. How common is that?
Well, I think that first of all, he was a guy that understood routes. He understood the stems of receivers, and based upon the way the guy released, the kind of route he was going to get. He also understood the leverage of the defense and where he could fit and how aggressive he could be. I think that when you look at these guys, I think all of them are working at it. I think, you look at Chucky, Cannon, even Reeve, those guys are all working hard to do those kind of things. So, we'll continue to work hard and see if we can make some plays on the ball.
Todd, how important is a guy like D'Angelo in the middle there?
Yeah, D'Angelo is, a guy that anchors the middle. Guys like him sometimes don't get all the credit they deserve. But anytime your inside guys can command double teams and force guys to double them up, it frees up people. And then when they get one-on-one, like D'Angelo in the Notre Dame game, it basically got one-on-one on a draw play and made the play, and really forced the field goal there for us to win that game. So those guys are real important up front. I have been really pleased with those guys and what they've done. You see a lot of effort and togetherness in that group. So we'll continue to work those guys and rotate them in.
Now you talk about getting better every day. Do you have maybe like little goals that you set where you want your defense to be throughout camp and into the first game?
Not real. I mean, we just want to get better every day. What we're going to do is you know, we still installing our package. You know, we're still, you know, quite a few weeks away. But at some point, we will start focusing on Auburn and that kind of thing. But what you want to do is get your concepts in the beginning of practice as you evaluate your players, so that when you come to something throughout the season, they've kind of already heard it or seen it or know about it somewhat, and there's a familiarity with what they're doing. So that's what we'll do. And then other than that, we just want to try to find ways to get our best players on the field, to let those guys make plays, because you win with playing with effort and energy and execution, and letting playmakers make plays.
I think we got Keith over there. What kind of impact can he make for you guys?
Keith's done a great job playing. You know, moving him to outside backer has been a great deal for us. He's been a leader on our team. He's got really good speed. He's instinctive. He can set the edge on the run. Gives you a little bit of pass rush. So I mean, he's been a really good player for us in the things that we've asked him to do. So I'm certainly excited to watch him play, you know, this season.
Do you envision kind of moving Fields, you know, sort of at that spot as well as Trevon's spot, kind of moving them around?
Yeah, I mean, one of those guys can play in. I mean, because really in nickel, your outside backers become your end, so you can do it that way. So we'll mix and match those guys and just try to see what kind of personnel the other team has and how we can play those guys, and just try to match up those three guys as best as possible.
Are you pleased with where Devontae is right now?
Yeah, he's doing a great job for us. I mean, he's attentive in meetings. He's a guy that when he first came here probably needed to continue to work and get in shape. But I mean, you know, he had 60 plays in the scrimmage the other day, and I saw the guy get better from an energy standpoint as the scrimmage went along. He's a little bit unique in the sense that he can play and recover pretty quickly, which is a credit to him. And he's really an instinctive player that understands our defense to this point. Still got to work at it, but for the most part, he understands the concepts, has a really good feel on what to do, and certainly glad he's here, and we'll work hard to put him in position to help us win ball games.
It's a battle with, you know, Chucky and maybe Zach.
Yeah, Chucky and Zach, they're battling. Both of them, you know, show up and do things well. We're still continuing to work those guys and develop them and evaluate where they are. I think that the biggest thing with that group back there, between those two guys and even Reeve, is they work well together. When they're not in there, they're still watching the play, which allows them to get a mental rep. So, you know, we'll continue to work those guys, you know, interchangeably, and see, you know, which guys fall, you know, in the spot. Thank y'all guys.